I just watched on a Humble. Turned out to be the best shit I've seen this year. Called Kumare. Spell it the best way you can. Kumare or whatever it was. You'll find it on Netflix. It's a documentary, and there's this Indian dude from New Jersey. I think that's it, Aline. Kumare. Indian dude from New Jersey. Regular dude just like me and you. Regular dude just like me and you. And his parents followed the old ways, Hindu religion, and he was trying to find out the secret and what this was all about. So what he decided to do was create a religion, become a guru or dress like a guru, and create a religion and see how many followers he can get. And he did the bullshit. He did this bullshit. He called himself Kumari, got a role, act like he came from America, put on an Indian voice, and got these followers. The only thing missing, them niggas was not saying hotel.
I wanted to prove to others who are looking for answers that no one is more spiritual than anyone else, that spiritual leaders are just illusions, and we are the ones who decide who and what is real. So I thought, what if I became a spiritual leader? If I could do it, wouldn't it prove anyone could? With a few cosmetic changes, I could easily look like a guru. So I let my hair grow out, and my beard. I started practicing yoga and meditation every day. I felt the effects almost immediately. Now all I needed was to imitate my grandmother's voice.
Hello.
At first it was fun. It was a prank.
Hello.
How are you? Good to meet you, Guru.
Nice to meet you.
Is that how you go by, or is there another name we should call you?
What would you like to call me?
I don't know. They told me I should call you Guru.
Yes. Very good.
I wanted to try out my disguise in a more formalized setting. So I got my friend to book my guru alter ego as a guest teacher at a local yoga studio.
And you just moved.
I created a series of made-up chants. And I taught nonsense rituals and yoga moves. People seem to like it. I thought of that inner peace I found while sitting with my grandmother. Was that real? Could people find the same peace from a made-up religion that they found in a real one? Could I really pull this off?
I felt connected to you right away. Something about you. I was like, I don't know, I'll just follow him anywhere.
This is the story of the biggest lie I've ever told and the greatest truth I've ever experienced. It's about the time I pretended to be a wise guru from the East and started a following of real people in the West. This is the story.
That shit was so fucking eerie, how this nigga made this shit up. He had motherfuckers making chants up, singing in circles. Do you see the blue light? Yes. This nigga went through it with these motherfuckers. And I've never seen, this shit almost made me cry. I've never seen so many motherfuckers eager to follow a nigga. And that's what he was saying. He said ultimately he's going to prove to people that you do not need to follow anything. All of this shit is within inside of you. But what it shown was people have this undying need to look at something outside of themselves as something greater than themselves.
A core group of disciples had emerged, so we invited them into our home.
So what was it about him that made you come here?
Nothing really let me know that this guy is, what I've been looking for. But I went home, and I couldn't get him out of my mind. And the next day, I couldn't get him out of my mind. You know, I just kept thinking about him, and the thoughts were always good. They were always very positive. Everything about him was very positive. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. It's like, wow, this guy, I got to see this guy. And I was talking to my wife today. I was saying, I said, you might not like this one, but I think I love this man.
What he's bringing is like science. It's like law of attraction, right? He's a doctor, actually. He's a doctor, right?
Kumari came along and said, well, you don't really need, here's the idea. I'll help you to find whatever's inside you, but you're going to have to teach yourself. And I can teach you how to teach yourself that, but I'm not going to be here, which is true of all teachers. They don't stick around.
The shit was sick. But then he had a realization. You should have heard him. He was saying, he had him chanting, I am bullshit. This shit was ridiculous. And they sitting there chanting this shit. Now, but in it, he had a realization because of he did change so many lives. Because then he started giving a list of all these people that was in it and all the lives that actually did change, even in his bullshit. So what was the message? What it told me was one of the things I kind of knew, but it says it so that everyone can know. All of this shit we doing is from our own heads. That's what it means when it says this is an illusion. It works because you agreed for it to work. So all of this debating and arguing and this right or wrong is irrelevant. It's all what you decide that works. It's only levels of energy. So if flapping your knee and praying to Jesus took you to another level, because certain motherfuckers got off of drugs, for that person, it is a powerful thing. While you sitting there going, no, that's wrong, it doesn't matter. In their mind, you cannot, they convince themselves. So you can convince yourself of anything. You had these people sitting there going, I am bullshit, and believing they went to the next level. This tells you your mind, whatever your mind truly decides to accept, is the only thing that's actually real. Everything else is an illusion. So it's up to you to fortify your mind, or that's why you have the power to fortify your mind any direction you so choose. You just need, how do you say, a program that does it. See, it says you're a doctor because you went to school and you went through that shit, but that's the only reason it says you're a doctor and you believe you're a doctor, because you went to school and they call you doctor. You get what I'm saying? You're not more special. You weren't born here for whatever. You were trained. And this shit is about training. All of this shit is about training. Magic is about training. These classes I do is about training and convincing yourself. Once you are convinced yourself, there's methods for convincing yourself. Once you have convinced yourself, then your reality becomes whatever you have chose to accept. Therefore, you have to go beyond what's right or wrong. You get what I'm saying? Only what works and doesn't work, which is something I've been telling you for a long time. How do you know your magic? How do you know you did it right, Planet? It doesn't matter if you did it right. Is it working? Is it working? You're supposed to do it that way. You're not supposed to do it that way. Are you using common sense? Says the fuck who? That's what you convince yourself is right. You must be initiated by a Babalawo in Nigeria for you to be able to even say the word Ashe. That's something that somebody said. You can't even say the word Ashe unless you're initiated. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit somebody duped you into believing. You believe it so much so that you're willing to tell the world that shit as a right or wrong. It's ridiculous. You get what I'm saying? So when you watch this Kumari thing, like I said, two things. You'll see how desperate people are, and really how any of this religious stuff, any of this whole tep is emotional. And that's one of the things I used to say to you all the time. They're looking for an emotional release. No one is looking for a scientific understanding. Once you shift your emotions out of this, get a scientific thirst as opposed to an emotional hole that you're trying to fucking fill, and get a scientific thirst, you automatically change the energy. And how does the energy change? You start to look within for your answers, which ultimately was the message that even he came to. Playing the fuck around. That was the ultimate message. He was like, yo, y'all are fucking guru. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Y'all mad. Y'all niggas, he told them, y'all need to stop pretending y'all don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to stop pretending you don't know shit and get and do what you know. So we need to stop pretending that the fucking Illuminati got us by the neck. We need to stop pretending that life is just so fucking hard that we can't master this little bullshit. We need to stop pretending that the white man has such fucking mystical power. We need to stop pretending which one is better than the next and which system is better than the next and fucking get something done. We need to start getting back to knowing. You know what I'm saying? We need to stop doing things to try to cheerlead a belief system, to get ourselves to believe something, to keep saying something over as proof that we don't even believe some shit. You get what I'm saying? As proof we don't even believe some shit. We need to get back to the system of knowing.
I told you once, baby. I told you once.